What's up, you YouTubers? This is the Harpy Hunter. This is the second video I made tonight. I'm still at the laundromat. But I decided to do another tips and tricks video while I was here doing laundry, since I'm here later than I thought I would be. But anyway, this tips and tricks video is designed to help, or is targeted at younger duelists or duelists who are new to the game. And it's pretty much just going to go over some tips and tricks that I find helpful when building decks. Now, granted, this video is designed or is being made to target, the newer duelists or the younger duelists who aren't very good at deck building or who don't have a lot of experience doing deck building. There are some tips in here that could help more experienced or even veteran duelists, but this video I am being made primarily to help the younger or newer duelists. So with that being said, let's get started. Tip number one. Structure decks are your friends. Starter decks, I don't much care for them because they don't really have a lot of good cards. Starter decks are pretty much just ways to reprint common cards that used to be hard to get. Structure decks are your best bet. What a lot of duelists do is they'll buy 2 or 3 of the structure decks. Like for example, the most recent ones are the Realm of Light structure deck, the Synchron Extreme structure deck, and they'll buy 2 or 3 of those decks. And build their deck out of those. Get the best cards out of them, build the deck out of those cards, and then as they go, they'll trade for higher rarities of cards they want for the decks. But structure decks are really your friends, because they have the good cards. I mean, they have like the Synchron Extreme has the Jet Synchrons, the Junk Synchrons, it has effect veilers and plague spreaders, stuff you need for synchro summoning, which is what that deck does. And like I said, just buy 2 or 3 of them and build your deck out of that. It's a good way to get started, especially if you're a new duelist. You're trying to get a deck made and you're not sure exactly how to do it. The structure decks are your best friends. Tip number 2. Don't just go out and buy a bunch of high cost cards or expensive cards, because you have all the expensive cards in the world doesn't mean you're going to be able to make a good deck out of them. Sometimes the cards that are cheapest are sometimes the best. For example, you buy a 50-cent Solemn Warning, 50-cent common Solemn Warning, and it's still a pretty good card. It's so good it's on the limited list. Another good tip while we're on the expensive card thing is just because a card looks good or it might sound like it has an effect or looks like it has decent attack or something, doesn't necessarily mean it's a good card. Actually research some of the cards you want to use. There's some cards like Mystical Space Typhoons, Dark Ultra Gekis. You don't really need to research those. Those are some good cards. You just look at it and say, oh, it destroys all monsters, it destroys a back row. I activate a miner on my opponent's turn in case of quick play spells. But don't just assume a card is good. Actually do your research on the card, figure out how it works, stuff like that. If you are building a new deck, dueling apps are your friends. There's several different platforms. TradeCardsOnline.com. They have a gaming room where you can go in and test decks out. But honestly, the 2 best ones are DuelingNetwork.com and DevPro Dueling app. Both DevPro and Dueling Network have their pluses, they have their negatives. But personally, I think in a lot of ways, Dueling Network is better, and here's why. DevPro, it pretty much does everything for you. You can't misplay, you can't really make mistakes. You don't really learn on DevPro because it's all automated. If you can't do something, it won't let you do it. With Dueling Network, it's not that way. Dueling Network's more like dueling a real person or dueling people in real life. Mainly because you control all your steps. Effects don't trigger automatically when they're supposed to and stuff like that. So it's more like you're actually dueling in real life. And to me, that is a better because of it. Because you can make the mistakes, you can learn from your mistakes, stuff like that. But if you know, but also in that same regard, Dev Pro doesn't, you can't really make mistakes on Dev Pro. Because it is all automated, it triggers your, does all your effects for you. Effects does do something at a specific time. It does it for you automatically, or if it's an activate effect where you can choose to use it or not, it pops up a little window that gives you the option. So in that regards, it is better as well, because it can teach you how to use your deck properly. So like I said, they both have their pros, they both have their cons. It's all really a matter of your learning style. If you learn by seeing stuff done, then I would use Dev Pro. If you learn by making your own mistakes, then I would use Dueling Network. But even if you're not learning, even if you're veteran duelists, those are still good dueling platforms to use. Next tip, don't you know don't constantly, while you're building your deck, don't constantly put your cards in sleeves and take them out, put them in and take them out. That's just going to put a lot of wear and tear on your cards, and it's eventually going to make it to where they're non-playable at all, and you have to trash them. And I've seen new duelists whose cards are back in issue. I mean, they'd have a, fucking Dracosac or a Big Eye, and those are pretty expensive cards. That was all beat to hell because when they were building their deck, they'd put it in the card sleeve, then take it out, then put it in the card sleeve, then take it out, and put it in the card sleeve, and take it out. Don't do that. If you're not sure if you're going to keep all the cards in your deck or not, what I would do is, run the deck through while you're testing it and building it, without putting sleeves on it. I know it's a little dangerous. They still get a little bit of wear. But if you take, if you're careful and you're gentle with your cards, then it's not going to put a whole lot of wear on them. Sure, what else? I had another. I was going to say something else, and then I just had a brain fart. Yeah, obviously you can tell these videos are not scripted. They're on the fly, what's actually going through my head at the moment, videos. Next tip. Oh, yeah, that's right. Next tip is try to get some staples. Try to make your deck consistent. You'll be surprised at how far an upstart goblin or one day of peace will go in your deck. You want to make sure your deck is consistent. The best way to do this is keep your deck as close to the 40 card minimum limit as you can. There are some decks out there that can run off of 50, 60 cards like Light Sworns and stuff like that. There's a few specific decks that can do it. But try to keep your deck as close to the 40 card limit as you possibly can. This will help keep your deck consistent, let you get to the cards you want quicker so you can use them at the right times and things like that. Other than that, that's pretty much all I got. Consistency. Test your deck before you buy it. Go out and buy all the expensive cards. Keep your cards close to 40. Don't constantly be taking your cards in and out of sleeves, stuff like that. Also, if you don't have a lot of money, I know a lot of duelists don't want to spend a shit ton of money buying the high foil cards. I mean, pretty much every card, I want to say at least 90-95% of cards come in common versions that are really cheap. I mean, it might be $5-10, but it's cheaper than the $50-60 foil versions. So pretty much, every card, like I said, 90-95% of the cards you can find in a cheap common version. Then if you think you like the deck and the way it's built, later on you can trade or buy the foil versions. So you don't need the high-priced foils, super rares, ultra rares, secrets, stuff like that. You don't need to get the high rarities to build your deck. That's one thing that I think a lot of people new to the game don't realize. When you're building a deck, you don't need to buy the expensive foils. you can buy them in commons. But that's pretty much it for this video. So I'm gonna sign off. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. Leave your comments in the box below about what you think. If you have any tips you want to pass along, leave them in the comments. If you have any video ideas you'd like to see, like I said, it's my viewers that control what I put on the channel. Right now, like, it's a new channel. I'm trying to get stuff going, so I'm putting a bunch of different stuff on there. Deck profiles, tip videos, top 10 lists. I'm also going to produce some discussion videos. When the next ban list comes out, I'll do a ban list discussion. I'm also going to try to get a ban list prediction video up here in the next week or so. But like I said, if you have any ideas for videos, leave them in the comment box below. I will do my best to read every comment. My videos get, if I start getting too many, like thousands of comments on the videos, I won't be able to read every single one. But I will try to read as many of those comments as I can. But until next time, this is Harpy Hunter 89 signing off.